Hey everyone, today we're diving into something we all do every single day, but most of us know almost nothing about. I'm talking about sleep. We're going to uncover the incredible science that proves it's not wasted time, but maybe the most important thing we do for our health.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We spend about a third of our entire existence completely unconscious. You're vulnerable, you're not productive, you're basically offline. If you look at it from a survival of the fittest point of view, sleep seems like a horrible idea.
You know, neuroscientist Matthew Walker really hits the nail on the head here. Sleep seems to fly in the face of every single survival instinct. It's this exact puzzle, this paradox, that stumped scientists for literally thousands of years. And it's the big question we're tackling today.
So, that leads us to our first section. Is sleep just some massive blunder of evolution? For a long time, without any clear answers, it was actually pretty hard to argue that it wasn't.
And here's the crazy part. Right now, a staggering 2/3 of adults in the developed world aren't getting the recommended 8 hours of sleep. This isn't just some small problem. It's a quiet epidemic, and the fallout is, well, it's huge.
Look, we've always understood why we need to eat, or drink water, or, reproduce. But sleep? For centuries, science had nothing. No solid answer. So what on earth did we finally figure out that flipped this mistake into one of our most essential functions?
Well, it turns out your brain isn't just shutting down for the night. Not even close. It's actually entering what you could call the night shift. Sleep is this incredibly busy, super organized state, a critical maintenance cycle that we're really only just now starting to understand. And our modern understanding really started with a total accident back in 1952. A grad student named Eugene Oserinsky just happened to notice that his infant son's eyes were darting around wildly while he was asleep. That one single observation completely shattered the old idea that sleep was just one passive state. It revealed this dynamic cycle between two totally different kinds of sleep, NREM and REM. So, these two types of sleep have very different jobs. I love this analogy. Think of deep non-REM sleep as your brain's meticulous librarian. It's busy all night taking the important memories from the day and filing them away for long-term storage. Then you have REM sleep, which is more like your own personal therapist. It takes those difficult emotional experiences and kind of softens the edges, helping you process and heal. You absolutely need both to be at your best.
Okay, so if both NRM and REM sleep are that crucial, what happens when we consistently cut them short? Well, the answer is pretty frightening. We are in the middle of a massive global epidemic of sleep loss, and the consequences for our health are severe.
70%. I want you to really let that number sink in. That's how much your body's critical cancer-fighting immune cells, these things called natural killer cells, are reduced after just one night of only 4 to 5 hours of sleep. A single bad night puts you in a state of immune deficiency. It's just wild. And the danger isn't just some far-off long-term health problem. It's immediate. Check this out. After you've been awake for 19 hours, your mental impairment is the same as someone who is legally drunk. So let's say you wake up at 7 a.m. By 2 a.m. the next morning, you are, for all intents and purposes, driving drunk, even with zero alcohol in your system.
And the risk just skyrockets from there. It's not a gradual thing. If you get behind the wheel on less than 4 hours of sleep, your risk of getting into a car crash goes up by more than 11 times. Drowsy driving is every bit as deadly as drunk driving, and it's completely preventable.
Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. If a lack of sleep is that destructive, just imagine what happens when you get enough. The answer is, it's transformative. Getting consistent quality sleep is nothing short of a biological superpower. It literally enhances every single part of your mind and body.
You know, sleep doesn't just repair us, it actually inspires us. Take the story of Dmitry Mendeleev, the chemist who was struggling to figure out how to organize the elements. He was completely stuck. Then, one night, after falling asleep totally exhausted, he dreamt the entire solution, the periodic table. His dreaming brain solved a problem his waking brain couldn't crack.
And that kind of creative problem solving is just the beginning. A full night's sleep locks in your memories. It recalibrates your emotions. It recharges your immune system. It helps regulate your appetite, and it even lowers your blood pressure. It is, without a doubt, the single most effective thing you can do to reset your brain and body health every single day.
So, the big question is, how do we actually tap into this superpower? how do we fight back against the sleep loss epidemic and take back our health? Well, it's actually a lot simpler than you might think.
Now, there are tons of useful tips out there for sleeping better. Keep your bedroom cool, make it dark, all that stuff. And they do help. But the research is clear. There is one factor that stands head and shoulders above all the rest. If you're going to focus on just one thing, this is it.
The #1 tip for improving your sleep is regularity. That's it. Going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time. Every day, yes, even on the weekends. This anchors your sleep, and it dramatically improves both the quantity and the quality. It all has to do with regulating your body's internal 24-hour clock, which helps it anticipate when sleep is coming and get ready for it.
So, it's time we completely change how we think about sleep. It's not a luxury, it's not optional, it is a non-negotiable biological necessity. Think of it like life-saving maintenance that you perform on your brain and body every single night. So the only real question left is, how are you going to reinvest in your health, starting tonight?